Now, before we get started, I have to admit, I cannot remember what you called that thing on the phone. It was bio something.
I get that a lot. The word is bioremediation, and it really is simpler than it sounds. Bio refers to biological or natural, and remediation is just another word for remedy or solution. So the bioremediation service we provide to restaurants and food service operations utilizes products containing naturally occurring bacteria that eat grease and other organic matter in drains and sewer lines.
Okay, well that sounds great, but shouldn't I be concerned about having bacteria in my kitchen?
There are many different types of good and bad bacteria. For example, Salmonella and E. coli are bad bacteria and a concern for food processors and restaurants. In reality, good bacteria are everywhere and we couldn't exist without them. Life wouldn't be the same without coffee and chocolate cake, not to mention the fact that we couldn't digest anything without bacteria.
So there's bacteria in my coffee and chocolate cake?
Not in the finished product, but you can't make either one without bacteria. We use products made by BioStim, and just like scientists determine the best strains for making coffee, chocolate, yogurt, or your favorite cheese, BioStim scientists selected the best bacteria strains to digest the grease in your drain lines.
So bioremediation really is as technical as it sounds.
Our service eliminates the stuff that causes your drains to get blocked, stink, and produce fruit flies.
That makes sense and sounds simple enough. You know, I have noticed fruit flies in our drains sure stink if we don't pour some bleach at least a few times a day.
As mentioned, good and bad bacteria are everywhere, including your drain lines and grease trap. Pouring bleach down the drain actually makes your odor issue worse because the bleach kills the beneficial bacteria that are working hard to solve your problem.
That's not good.
Right, because there are good bacteria in the drain and sewer lines, but there aren't enough of them. I'll come back to that in a minute. So the good bacteria, like the ones in our products, are primarily aerobic, meaning they prefer an oxygen-rich environment. The other bacteria don't need oxygen to survive, so they are in the muck, and they are the ones that cause that rotten egg smell coming from your drain lines.
That explains why it smells better at first. I mean, if you can say that about bleach. But then the odor comes back just as bad or even worse than before. As a result, it seems like we're constantly pouring bleach down the drain, which is not good and probably costs more than I realize. Yeah, I guess we aren't the only ones doing this?
Not at all. You're just trying to solve the problem the only way you know how. But there is a better way.
You've got my attention. Let's hear it.
Our monthly service includes treating those drains we've been discussing. This will take care of the odor and the fly problem in the drains. In addition, we'll install a metering system that will continuously inject beneficial bacteria into the drain lines, and finally, we can treat your grease trap to eliminate odor and the need for excessive pumping. We can do this all while we're here to do your pest control service.
Well, that's convenient.
Our trained service technician will apply BioStim drain foam to your floor drains and walls of the drain pipe. Foaming your drains does two things. First, the foam is a high-powered surfactant formula that cleans the drain and walls of the pipe. Second, the foam contains and leaves behind millions of those grease-eating bacteria we discussed.
That should do the trick. But what about the chemicals we use when we're mopping? I mean, won't those kill the bacteria when they go down the drain?
That's a great question. They may kill some of the beneficial bacteria, but typically the mopping solution is diluted enough that it won't kill off the entire population. That's also why our service is done monthly. Each monthly service will reinforce the colony of beneficial bacteria, keeping them healthy and thriving.
No, sounds good so far. I really like the idea of a more permanent natural solution. Now I understand how foam can clean, and the bacteria can eliminate the grease and the odor. But what do you put in the drains to kill the flies?
We don't actually kill the flies. In fact, there's actually nothing in our products that will kill an insect. The way we eliminate the fly problem is by eliminating their food source and habitat. We can also foam some other areas that contribute to the fly problem, like soda and beer tap drains.
I'm sorry, I still don't understand how this will solve my fly problem.
Flies live in drains because the grease and all the other organic matter is a great food source for their larvae. By keeping the floor and beverage drains clean with our monthly service, we're taking away the stuff these insects need to live. Since the life of the most common drain flies is only about 24 hours, the fly you see at the bar today was the larvae living off the grease and sugar in your drains yesterday. So you stop handing those flies free food and shelter and
the fly's favorite hotel and restaurant is closed for good.
Yeah, I'd love to say it's that easy, but unfortunately, insects can feed and breed in any place where there are sanitation issues, such as under equipment or cracked tiles, and even in the gaps between base molding and the wall. Simply opening the door of your restaurant can open the door for an insect problem, so foaming drains is only part of the successful pest control program. Our technicians are trained to understand and solve the problem, and more importantly, keep them from coming back.
Yes, I talked to the technician because the fruit flies are terrible in the bar area. So do you think foaming the floor in the bar will solve the problem?
That is a great question. Just foaming the floor drain probably won't solve it. Soda fountains, holster stations, and beer taps all have drains that are often overlooked as harboring small flies. The flies feed and breed on sugar and yeast. In addition, these drain lines frequently clog up due to the sticky nature of what goes down them. You've probably seen that gray slimy material that comes out when you blow out your soda or beer drain. We call that a sugar snake.
Yes, that's what we call them too, and we get them constantly. And pouring hot water down the drain seems to help some, but we still have them plug up.
As with your dishwasher, all the grease or sugar or yeast you send down the drain with hot water eventually solidifies somewhere in your drain lines. Just like with the floor drains, the bacteria in the foam will keep these types of drains from clogging up. As mentioned earlier, there are a lot of areas that can cause fly problems, so our techs are always on the lookout.
I understand what you're saying, and I've been very happy with our pest control program.
By using our monthly drain line maintenance service, we keep your drains clean naturally and without the expensive plumbing bill. Let me explain. We install a microchip injection system near your compartmented sink because that's where most of the grease enters your drain line from rinsing or hand washing dishes, pots, pans, and utensils. The micro drip will continuously add a drip of bacteria to your drain lines.
Just one drop?
That's one highly concentrated drop containing millions of colony-forming bacteria. Every 14 minutes, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That's trillions of grease-eating bacteria going right where you need them most at the source of the problem. The bacteria are colonized throughout the drain system and go wherever the food source goes. This will take care of the grease buildup and keep the drain system flowing freely. Every month, we will install a new cartridge and make sure the microdrip is working properly.
Clean drains, clear lines. Sounds like all my problems are solved.
Actually, there is one more area where we can reduce odor and probably save you some money at the same time. Is your grease trap inside or outside the building?
It's outside, and thank goodness, because it's nasty.
Yeah, I know because we service them.
You do?
Yes. We open up the grease trap to treat it with bacteria using the BioStim Super Og Pill. While we have it open, we also aerate it and measure the remaining capacity. Do you know the capacity of the trap?
I do, because I just approved the monthly bill for pumping it out. 750 gallons.
So each month, we'll inspect the condition of your trap, treat it with bacteria, and measure the solids or remaining capacity. As you know, the city requires you to have the trap pumped out at least every 3 months or whenever the grease has reached 25% of the total capacity of the trap. How often do you have your outdoor grease trap pumped now?
Actually, we're having it pumped every month.
Wow. Who determined that schedule?
Well, it was before my time, and I think the pumping company recommended we do it monthly.
Since the city only requires you to have it pumped every 3 months, you may be able to save a lot of money by reducing the schedule to the quarterly requirement.
Wow, that would save a lot of money because we'd only pump 4 times a year versus 12.
Right, but to make that change, you would have to monitor the trap yourself. We can do that for you as part of our monthly service. Our technicians are trained to service the trap, measure the grease cap, and let you know if it needs to be pumped. For example, he may report that the grease cap is only at 10%, so there would be no need to pump. When it gets to 20%, he'll recommend that you schedule it for pumping. By using our outdoor grease trap service and following the 25% rule, most of our customers are able to cut their pumping down to the minimum requirement and save thousands of dollars per year.
Where do I sign?
Well, you could sign this blank order form. Actually, I just need to take a look around to prepare a quote for the service. Is it okay if I walk through the building and get the information? I know you have a lot to do, so if it's okay with you, I can fill out my inspection form on my own. I just need to know about how many meals you serve per day, on average, since you are probably much busier on the weekends.
We serve about 400 meals a day, Sunday through Thursday, and about 600 Friday and Saturday. Feel free to do whatever you need to do to work up the numbers.
Greg, thank you for your time. I really have enjoyed talking with you about bioremediation and look forward to presenting a plan and a quote in a few minutes.
Thank you. This has been really interesting. I look forward to getting us started.
Here's where the action is. Here's the 3-compartment sink, and that is a great location for a microdrip unit. We can solve this sink odor with a drain relief pill, and We'll foam this trough drain, which looks about 3 feet long. There's an air gap drain. There's another one. And one more there. Wow, there are a lot of drains in this place. You definitely want to treat that drain with drain foam. This trough drain's about 5 feet long, so I'll make a note of that. That's a good spot for flies to hang out. We're gonna need to foam under that ice machine. There's one floor drain back in the corner. It's 1, 2, 3 soda guns. I think that's it in here. Time to go outside and take a look. All right, there's the outdoor grease trap. That shouldn't be a problem servicing that. Time to add this up and put it on my inspection form. Hey, thanks, Greg. I know how important it is that your customers have a great dining experience. We'll be installing a micro-drip injection system treating 6 drains with foam, an ice machine drain, and a mop sink. We'll also foam your beverage tap drains and spray the greasy area under your stoves. Outside, we'll spray foam under your dumpster and grease recycling bin to help control odor and eliminate breeding sites for flies. Last but not least, we'll monitor your outdoor grease trap and let you know when you need to have it pumped. With our bioremediation service, your drains will be cleaned without hydrojetting, which should prevent any drain overflow or odors that can ruin your reputation. You're going to save money by pumping your grease trap as needed rather than on a set schedule. We can begin your bioremediation service with your next monthly service if you're ready.
You know what? That sounds great. Where do I sign?
Right there.